not been well cooked, it is being rushed, it will end up being in problems. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
I'll give Kimani, then we can call the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr.
You are giving the microphone to a member I have not called out.
Thank you.
Yes, Kimani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We appreciate the debate that you've held this afternoon and the views held by, among others, the Honorable Atendi Amolo. And tomorrow, during the Committee of the Whole House, the Joint Committees of Finance and National Planning and that of Housing, Public Works and Urban Development will be putting across several amendments so that we align the fears that members of this Honorable House has raised. But a few of those things that I would like to reply to is, one, the issue or the question of the ownership of land and the transfer of these houses, or where these houses are built on public land and how they are transferred from public land to private land. One of the amendments we'll be moving tomorrow is an amendment to the Lands Act, is a provision that all the transfer of land from public to private will have to follow the Land Act, Honorable Speaker. The issue about penalties in terms of the times when these levies are levied to the relevant authority, we will also be promoting an amendment so that they align with the Tax Procedures Act, so that the fines and the penalties that shall accrue as a result of late disbursement of these funds will follow the rest of the taxes as proposed by the as enshrined in the Tax Procedures Act. Honorable Speaker, one of the key amendments that we've done is we've created the fund. And now this fund, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and them trying to implement these affordable housing programs, the bill proposes to use existing structures of governance, including county governments, including the National Housing Corporation, including the State Department in charge of housing, and other private entities that could be involved in the issue of affordable housing. So the monies are collected as a levy by KRA, they're taken into the fund, and then it is a fund that disburses these monies to the respective agencies. The agencies will implement the housing programs, and once the houses are complete, they are going to be transferred to the fund. And now it is now the fund that is going to distribute these houses to Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. The issue about whether to buy or rent has also been addressed in the amendment that will be moving tomorrow, that now provides that this affordable housing will be available for whether you want to buy or rent, Honorable Speaker. The issue of the 10% deposit, again proposed as a bill, is one of the things that we propose to delete tomorrow during the Committee of the Whole House, because we listened to Kenyans and they said that 10% proposed deposit is too punitive and might not be affordable to the majority of hustlers that want to get involved in this program, Honorable Speaker. Lastly, there was a fear that these houses will be taken by the rich at the expense of the people that should benefit from this affordable housing. And therefore, we'll also be proposing to have one ID, one KRA PIN, one house, so that we do not have people taking advantage of this particular program and going to invest in them at the expense of the hustlers that are benefiting from this program, Honorable Speaker. We have also clearly defined what an affordable house, and most importantly, Honorable Speaker, one of the things that came out of the public hearings is a need for institutional housing. We have a majority of the civil servants who are majority of the contributors to this kitty, like the police, like the teachers, like KDF, like lecturers, like even student accommodation, that now we are proposing to include an additional amendment to have affordable housing, including institutional housing, so that our students, for example, Honorable Speaker, the Technical University of Nairobi has a population of almost 20,000 students, but the number of hostels they have as an institution is less than 500. And this means that we have had mushrooming of slums around universities. If you go to Kenyatta University, the students there live in KM. If you go to the University of Nairobi, there is a slum around all our institutions of higher learning. And therefore, the bill will propose to have a particular provision and a particular percentage going to institutional housing, especially targeting our civil servants, our teachers, our police officers, and most importantly, our students, so that the students can live near where they go to school and they can have a conducive place to